Hey there, my name is Danielle and I've had sarcoidosis for almost 3 years now, and today I'm telling you guys about how it has affected my tattoos. Stay tuned. So, sarcoidosis, what is it really? In my non-medical explanation, it's essentially inflammation within your body. Period. Now, the inflammation can affect different organs or different parts of your body. For me specifically, it affects my skin and my eyes. And to be even more specific, in regards to my skin, it affects the skin that actually has ink in it. Weird? I know. So, to give you a little bit of a backstory, I am almost 30 as of June 2020, and I got my first tattoo when I was 18 years old. So actually my first tattoo were these 3 stars. Yes, I love Rihanna. I'm gonna just leave it right there. So that was my first tattoo. It was actually on my 18th birthday. Very exciting stuff, and from there it kind of just grew in the sense of my love for tattoos. I've always loved tattoos and I always wanted to get tattoos because I wanted to make sure that my tattoos came out as clear as possible. So I got black ink only. And then from there I got tattoos maybe almost every year, maybe a couple a year, and then I kind of stopped around 2014, I'm gonna say. I think that was my last tattoo. And so from 18 to 24, nothing. I was fine, my tattoos looked fantastic, the line work was fantastic. I designed all of my tattoos, so that was even more exciting, and I was happy. Like, I wanted to eventually fill up my arm, but I didn't get a chance, and I unfortunately won't be able to anymore. But everything was fine for years. And then around 2017 in May, I started getting really weird bumps. So I like to document everything, and I'm going to show you guys clips and videos and pics, etc. of how it has progressed and changed over the years since I got my first set of symptoms. So to give you an even more backstory, so when the symptoms first started, I didn't even know what they were. I just knew that I was getting bumps on my tattoos, and I was like, what's going on? I was like, is it a reaction to something I was eating, like an allergy? Is it just like the ink is rejecting for some reason? I had an eyebrow piercing and it rejected twice, so I was like, maybe it's a possibility that the ink is doing the same thing. A couple weeks fast forwarding from that, from the first set of symptoms, the bumps and stuff were still there, then my eyes started to get really blurry and painful. I started getting migraine headaches. I was even having chest pains. I went into the hospital, had IVs, had medication, etc. I was still complaining about my eyes, and so after doing the tests and the x-rays and all that kind of stuff, they found some lymph nodes around this area on my side. They just said that nothing was too crazy. From there, because I was having so many headaches and so much migraines and a lot of pain with my eyes, and my eyesight was kind of diminishing. I always used to be 20/20 vision, so it was very strange for me to not be able to see properly. And so they referred me to the ophthalmologist. From there, I had my appointment. They saw what they could see, I guess. I can't remember exactly what happened, because this was about 2017, like around May, June 2017. I had really bad sensitivity to light. I was in sunglasses indoors on a regular basis. Not fun. Looked cool, but not fun. And then they eventually referred me to my current doctor, who is a specialist with the eyes in ophthalmology here in Montreal. So at that point, I still thought they were 2 separate things. I thought the eye situation and the skin situation were 2 separate things. Turns out they're connected. So after tests and going to the dermatologist, going to the ophthalmologist, going to see the hepatologist, going to see the respirologist, the doctors who deal with your lungs, doing tests, blood tests. Like at one point I had like, I think 15 to 20 vials of blood taken from me, like a whole ordeal. And eventually I was on a whole bunch of medication. I was taking prednisone at one point, which if you've seen my previous video, you know why I hate prednisone now, but at one point I was taking like I think it was 15 to 12 tablets a day. It was pretty bad, but yes, the medication did help, but of course medication in that sense tends to just be a band-aid and cover up the symptoms, but doesn't treat the problem. So because I was then diagnosed with sarcoidosis, depending on who you ask. Some of my doctors say, yes, you have sarcoidosis. My dermatologist said I have sarcoid related symptoms, but he wouldn't necessarily say I have sarcoidosis. I don't know. Point is, most of the doctors said I have sarcoidosis, so that's what I call it. And it's an autoimmune condition, so it does technically last for the rest of my life. So I was on medication, on and off, on and off, on and off. As you saw in my previous video, my hair started falling out. Luckily my hair is growing now, so super excited with that. But that'll be a whole other video. And then from there, I was just on medications. And then until late last year, or early last year, I was on something called Humira, which is an injectable pen medication that I would self-administer every 2 weeks, and that was perfect. It was doing everything for me. I wasn't taking any other medication other than that injection, and things were great. I mean, ideally, no, I don't want to be taking any medication, but it was better than nothing, and I was normal again. Then I got to a point where I stopped the medication and took something that was a little bit less based off of the circumstances at the time. But then in late December of 2019, which is last year, I had a really bad flare-up. My tattoos started getting bad again, my eyes started getting bad, and as of now, we are about a month in and I'm back on Humira. So I am still taking like Humira, which is a pill medication. I have drops for my eyes. I got an injection in my eye about a month ago. As you can see, it's healing, but looks kind of weird. It was a lot worse before. I have pictures of that too if you guys want to see, but I'll get into my eyes in a whole other video. This is just about the tattoos, but I still kind of want to give you guys an idea as to how they're all kind of linked and how it's gone since the beginning until now. So I started Humira again, but the past couple of weeks, even before Humira, my tattoos have been really bad. This is what it looks like right now. So essentially what happens is it looks like a really brand new tattoo. And because of the ups and downs of the inflammation, the back and forth, and all that kind of stuff, my lines aren't clean anymore. My tattoos are kind of not really recognizable anymore, especially if you, as you saw the pictures previously. I've gotten some like indentation in some areas as well. But essentially what's happened is my tattoos scab and then they peel. They're also very painful. There was a point where they were like puffy and scabby and painful, and like putting on clothes was an absolute mess. So yeah, luckily I think the Humira is kicking in, because the Humira does take about like 2 to 3 months to kick in. Last time for me it took about 2 months. So I'm going into a month and a half, almost 2 months now. So the swelling has gone down a lot, but the scabs are still pretty gross. And for someone like me who likes to pick at things, it's really hard not to pick at it. But at the same time, if I do, like in this picture here, you'll see I'm left with like gaping holes in my skin. So it's not ideal. And then that's a whole other process, and like living with just like pussy holes in your arms and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, this is where I'm at right now. Humira is the one thing that's actually helped me throughout. I've gone through so many doctor visits, so many checkups, so many rounds of residents coming to see me. You know, when you watch a TV show like Grey's Anatomy or like House back in the day, and they're just like people are in a regular like, you know, hospital room, and you just see, or like a clinic, and you see like just like a lineup of doctors just like staring at the patient. That was me. I've even been asked to go to their rounds specifically when the residents are just there, not even seeing patients. They ask me to come in so they can all look and see and touch and feel and take pictures of this. That was the dermatology rounds. My ophthalmologist, she's taken tons of pictures. Her residents have taken pictures. I'm pretty sure they may have written an article about me, or at least spoke about me at a conference for doctors like a year or two ago. So that's interesting. But yeah, this is where I'm at right now. This is definitely not ideal. In regards to the diet and what I eat, at one point for about 2-ish months, I cut out dairy, I cut out gluten, and I was like, this is it. This is the stuff that causes inflammation within your body, so if I cut this out, like, I'm good. Things got worse. So now I'm back to eating gluten and dairy again. I don't eat it as much because dairy does give me a little tummy problems, but yeah, this is where I'm at right now. It's a day-by-day thing, but I'm happy that I can move my arm freely without having any issues. Literally every piece of skin that has ink in it has been affected. I have one on my ankle, looks gross, a little bit more puffier than the others. I have one here. It's not as bad right now, but here's a little scabby. My first one that I had before, a little scabby and kind of bumpy. So for now, I keep them as dry as possible because I thought of it in a way of like when you get a cut, you don't really moisturize your cut when it starts to scab and stuff, because essentially it's like a whole bunch of cuts. And you just kind of just like let it be, let it dry out, let it do its thing. So that's what I'm doing, and I think it's helped as well. Plus the Humira is kicking in, but I moisturize like in between the cracks and all around my other parts of my arm as much as I possibly can. But yeah, that's what's happening right now with my tattoos. So far diet hasn't really helped as much as I'd like it to. I've gone vegetarian. As I said, I was gluten-free, I was dairy-free. Was I on those like restrictions for long periods of time? No. But when I realized that I was on it for so long and then it just got worse and didn't get better, I kind of stopped. Will I try it again in the future? Definitely. I think I've tried sea moss. Trust me, I've tried a whole bunch of things when it comes to the natural route, because that's essentially what I would like to go with. There's so many more things I can try, but I think right now my main thing is for my body to kind of get to like 0, where right now it's at like a good 99 out of like 100. Okay, maybe not 99. It's at like an 80-ish right now, because my eyes are blurry and stuff. My skin is obviously not that great. So I think once my body kind of gets to at least like a 5 or a 0, like really, really low in the sense of symptoms, because the Humira will eventually kick in, I think then I'll then try again to limit the inflammatory foods in my diet, because maybe at that point my body will be able to work with that and try to fight this whole autoimmune condition. But as they say, it's kind of with you for life. So we'll see how this goes. But at least right now I'm optimistic because I can put clothes on properly. It's the little things, guys. It's the little things. And of course, during this crazy time in the world, it's even a little bit more scary because I'm on medication that lowers my immune system. And let's be honest, my immune system isn't that great to begin with. So yeah, staying home a lot. I kind of always did that before, but even more so now. And just seeing how things go, taking it day by day. So I'll see you guys later. And if you're interested, after this, I will be showing close-ups. So if you're squirmish or things gross you out, like, turn the video off now. See you guys later.